So these are the AirPods Pro 2, and right now in late 2025, especially after the release of the AirPods Pro 3, these might be one of the best deals on AirPods that you might have seen. Let's discuss the design first. It's the classic white dental floss Apple AirPods case. Nothing much has changed from the AirPods first gen. It's still that long yet very small AirPods case. They added a lanyard loop point onto the right side of the case. And on the bottom, they have a new speaker, a USB Type-C port, and that's it. And on the rear, you see a pairing button. The light in the front tells you about the charging status. Very, very pocketable. Easily goes into a small pocket of your jeans. And the buds itself, they have various vents on the three sides of the pod itself. You have a silicone ear tip, some contact points on the bottom. Very short stem. Looks great on the ear, I'd say. The iconic white color. We all remember the iPod ads, don't we? On the surface which faces the outside when you wear these, you have a little flat, touch-sensitive and pressure-sensitive surface for controls. I'd say it's classic Apple design. I love the curves. Great matching corner radius to all other Apple products and iOS and macOS icon corner radius. I love the design. What can I say? The white color makes them stand out. You can easily find them if they're lying on your furniture or anywhere. Earbud design doesn't really get better than this. Let's talk about the sound quality. I'd rate the sound as perfect. Everything is perfect. Very balanced yet punchy sound. Now by balanced I mean that they don't really overpower any specific segment of music. The highs, the mids, the lows, everything has been given a very nice breathing room, a very nice emphasis. You can hear everything. Nothing overpowers the other, nothing dulls the other out. I think they've done a really great job with the sound. One of the reasons for the great sound is their adaptive EQ. The adaptive EQ not only changes the EQ based on your ear canal and the shape of your ear, which it senses based on the microphones which are facing in towards the ear canal, and also there are microphones outside for noise cancelling, but also the adaptive EQ changes the EQ on the fly when you're listening to music, and it also changes the EQ based on what type of music you're listening. So in a certain genre of music it might be punching the bass a little higher, whereas in another type of music maybe it wants to emphasize the sub bass, maybe it wants to emphasize the mids, maybe the trebles. So it does these really high-end EQ changes on the fly while you're listening. I think they do a crazy number of EQ changes every second. You can read the metric online, but it's some really nice tech provided by the H2 chip. So what you'll find using these is in a certain genre of song, let's say in a hip-hop or a rap song, you'll see that the bass is really punching. It's a really boomy big bass, and it complements that genre really well. You're saying, oh, these are great for hip-hop. But then you change your genre to something else, classical or maybe rock or heavy metal, and then the bass, it isn't as prominent as it was on the rap music, because you don't really want that overpowering bass in that separate genre, and there maybe it'll emphasize the sub bass more or the mids more or the vocals more. So it really adapts and changes itself according to the music you're listening and also according to your ear shape. They have a really high quality, clean timbre with very low distortion. The bass is powerful enough, although not overpowering, and the strong mid-range, it makes for a really engaging music listening experience. And there's an excellent soundstage and instrument separation, which honestly surpasses for in-ear buds. These are usually seen on big over-ear headphones, but these manage to do it somehow. They have nice vents, and the airflow technology that they have managed to make along with that adaptive EQ makes for a big sound stage. And also the spatial audio, which has two modes, a fixed and a head tracking mode. I personally like the fixed mode more. It also creates this huge sound stage, makes you feel like you're right in the middle of a concert with the various artists or a band sitting right around you. So you'll hear precise locations of sound. So these are really tuned for a natural, balanced music listening experience, which will be enjoyed by a mainstream audience, because this isn't a flat sounding earbud. These have a very balanced but also a very punchy, vibrant and engaging sound quality. The bass is firm, punchy, the sub bass is a bit boosted, it gives a nice thump to the sound, and the bass has a very nice clear separation from the mids. They have a slightly forward-tuned mid-range, which gives you nice clean timbre to the vocals and also gives you more vibrant vocals. And a nice sparkly treble, It has some peaks, but definitely has no sibilance. It's a very comfortable listening experience, even with some of the highest frequencies of sound. This is honestly some of the best audio experiences that money can buy right now. Let's talk about the comfort. You get various ear tip sizes in the box. So with the Pro 2s, they also included an extra small size for people with smaller ears. So go through a trial and error round, try them all and see which one suits you the best. Try the ear tip fit test in the settings app on the iPhone. That can help you maybe get a better fit. I really have no complaints. They stay in my ears really well. They don't really fall out. They are not uncomfortable at all, even after long periods of listening. The vents on these equalize the air pressure, so there's no stuffiness or pressure buildup in your ear canal, so that feels nice. Industry leading noise cancellation. I mean, I can't praise them enough. Cancels out 95% of the noises except really high pitched sounds. So really loud vocal sounds from the environment may come through. Sharp screeching sounds may come through, but even those are really subdued because of the powerful noise cancellation. They make a good seal in your ear, and also the H2 chip and Apple's noise cancelling algorithms are industry leading. These are really some of the best noise cancelling buds you can get. Road noise in a car, completely clean. It feels like you're sitting in a soundproof chamber. Airplanes, trains, sitting in a classroom with a bunch of people talking, that's gone. In cafes, people talking, that's gone. Just the clinks of utensils might be heard. Again, high-pitched sounds, they may come through, but those are also really subdued. The transparency mode, again, industry-leading transparency mode. It really feels like you're not wearing anything, except when you hear your own voice. That might sound a little bit electronic, and maybe that's because you hear your own voice through two mediums, right? You're hearing your talking voice, like right now, without the earbuds, through air conduction and also through bone conduction, or the vibrations through my various tissues, which are making my eardrum vibrate. So when you have these on, the noise cancelling is cancelling out all the air conduction out, but your bone conduction and your various tissues vibrating within your body will still make that sound reach your ears. And maybe the little bit of discrepancy in that and the very minute milliseconds of delay in that may cause this electronic feeling. It's really no big deal. I mean, you really can't even notice it. But if you're really going to nitpick, your own sound may sound a little bit electronic. I mean, you won't even notice it unless you really sit down to notice it. But other than that, the noises from your surroundings, those come as clean as they do when you don't have the earbuds in. Other features are the spatial audio features, so fixed and head tracking. In fixed, they widen the soundstage a bit, makes you feel like you're in the room with the artist singing. It also does a great job in movies and shows, because the wider soundstage makes you feel like you're sitting in a theater. You can position sounds much better that way. So I do really like the implication of the fixed sound. And some people were afraid that this might mess with stereo audio, like in classic rock songs. You have a nice stereo separation of instruments. They really don't. They widen the soundstage while maintaining a good stereo experience as well. So I think they do a great job. The head tracking mode just places virtual speakers around right here. So even if you move your head, these speakers, they stay in the same position, so you feel like you're moving your head independently while you have physical speakers in your room. Now once you move your head like that and then you stay there, these ones, after a few seconds, they will move and take up the new position like that. I don't really know the use of it. I don't know why someone would want that while having earbuds in. I guess it can make for an interesting gimmick at times. I'm not sure about the use of that, but I'm really happy with the fixed sound. Talking about battery life, Apple claims 6 hours of use just from the buds independently, and then the charging case gives you another 30 hours. I find the numbers really accurate. Then comes the ecosystem and Apple feature. Those are some of the prime features which AirPods offer, and one of the reasons that people buy them, they have the ultra wideband chip, so you can find them on Find My with precise locations, so you can really hunt them down with your phone. An arrow shows up and tells you exactly in which direction you've misplaced your case. The case itself has speakers on it, so you can make these play a tone and find them by listening. Seamless audio switching between various Apple devices. No other bud or headphone has been able to do it as good as AirPods. So if you long press the volume sliders on anything, be it the Mac, iPad or iPhone, you can change noise cancelling modes, you can change spatial audio modes and various other settings. I forgot to tell you about conversation awareness, which is another feature they have. So whenever you start talking or someone else starts talking to you, these will automatically detect that and reduce the volume of whatever you're playing to a very nice and low volume so you can talk and have a conversation, and once you stop talking, the volume goes back up and you can go ahead and you can go back listening to your music again. Another good feature, it's again available in Sony and other like the WF-1000XM5s, but I mean, it works fine in those too, but in these I find that it recognizes that you're in a conversation much earlier, so the switching is a bit fast. Pairing, as we all know, is much nicer on Apple devices as compared to Android. On Android, you'll have to push the pairing button and pair them like any other Bluetooth devices. You also might not get the option to switch audio modes or noise cancelling modes from your phone itself. You're gonna have to hold the stem of the buds to do that. Well, that reminds me, let's talk about the stems. The stem has a nice flat surface on the outward facing surface when you wear them in. The surface is touch sensitive, so you can swipe up and down to raise or lower the volume, but it's also pressure sensitive, so you can hold it and click it in to play, pause and forward. It works great in my opinion. Now these also have accelerometers and various other gyroscopic sensors, so whenever you get a call, Siri will announce the call and you can nod to pick up and go like that to decline. Magical. I love that. In noise cancelling, they have something called the adaptive noise cancelling mode, which will let your surrounding sound in, so it's a lot like transparency mode, but then also it will mute down some of the more harsher noises, like maybe some construction equipment around us. So it can be selective in what sounds it cancels out and what sounds it allows in. In fact, these are a medical grade hearing aid. You can also use these in a concert as earplugs, so it will allow a certain decibel of sound to come in, but it will cancel out the excess so that your eardrums don't get hurt and you don't get long-term hearing damage from really loud speakers. This is like one of the best products Apple has made in a long time. They are sweat, water and dust resistant. They're not waterproof, they're water resistant, so splashes, a little bit of rain, a lot of sweating, these can take that easily. The product is obviously solid. This is one of the best earbuds that's ever been made. But right now in late 2025, the AirPods Pro 3 have been announced. So a lot of people might be wondering, well, which one should they buy? So, well, around this time of the year, you might be seeing a lot of sales coming on. And in those sales, these are priced very attractively. In fact, I have seen them go as low as the AirPods 4, the non-Pro versions. And for that price, the features and the value that these offer is really insane. If we compare these to the AirPods Pro 3, the Pro 3 have a slightly changed design of the bud. So for the people who were experiencing the buds falling out, they do report a better fit. But for the ones who do experience a comfortable fit, it's really a minority number of people for whom the Pro 2s were falling out of the ear or were being uncomfortable. For them, the Pro 3s have become better. And I guess to find out, you can go at a store and try these out. It's still safe for, I think, 80 to 90% of the people. These will feel very comfortable and will fit just fine. But if you are one of the very few for who the Pro 2s were not fitting, or they were wiggling their way out or falling out, the Pro 3s might be more worth it. In terms of noise cancelling, the Pro 3s are better than these. That comes from a better fit, and also in case of the Pro 3, they have a different design for the ear tips. They have a composite design, so the inner part has a foam material and then the outer part has silicone, so it's a bit more firmer inner side, helps for a better, snugger fit. That helps with the noise cancelling. The Pro 3s have the same H2 chip as these do. So a lot of the software features do carry through to these, like live translation and some of the other features announced. These will also get them in the next update. In terms of sound, from the reviews I have seen, the Pro 2s actually sound maybe slightly better than the Pro 3s, maybe because they have tried to increase the noise cancellation a bit too much, that the sound is getting maybe like 1 or 2% muddy. I'm sure they sound just as good, and maybe to a few years even better. But in some of the very credible reviews I've seen from some credible people, the Pro 2s sound just as good, and in some cases might even sound a little bit better. The noise cancelling is definitely better on the AirPods Pro 3 as compared to this. The transparency mode is also a bit better on the AirPods Pro 3. Again, when I say better, it's like around maybe 5, 10, 20% better. It's nothing groundbreaking at all. In terms of battery life, the Pro 3 does get 2 more hours on the earbud itself. So from 6 hours, they go up to 8 hours. But for the case, These get 30 hours and those get around 26 to 28 hours. The case of the Pro 3s is a bit lighter, but also has a little bit less battery. So you may have to charge the case more often, but the buds itself will last 2 hours more in case of the Pro 3s. The Pro 3s also have a heart rate sensor. So if you don't have an Apple Watch and want to track your workouts, that's a nice addition to them as well. But also you're going to pay a much higher price for them as well. So there's that. If you would really like a heart rate sensor and you want to wear a real watch and also track your workouts, or don't want to buy an Apple Watch and want to buy this combination product, then maybe I think yes, you should buy AirPods Pro 3 if you really want buds specifically for excellent noise cancellation. Or if the Pro 2s really don't fit in your ears, maybe then you should consider the Pro 3s. But other than that, for a vast majority of people, these are the better deal. So that's it for the AirPods Pro 2. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.